Welcome back, everyone, to Solve Into the role-playing game Sulphur Winter, the Conflux Saga, Book 2, The Eyes of the Oracle. And we have agents with us today, agents who have been super lazy lately and not any... No, they haven't. They're just on a different time scale, so they're going to be very busy tonight, I'm sure. Shall we start with introductions? We have Josh on the left.
Hey everybody, I'm playing Erald de Mereld and the Animist Inquisition.
And then we have a guy with a boat.
John, I play Promos ab Gol Monda.
And then we have a priest.
That would be me.
Yes.
Mr. Rubello de Sampra.
And then we have apparently the villain of the campaign. That's what she says now.
That's what I like to think I am, anyway. I'm Jessica, and I play Praanz da Kaelve, the Duke Allesella.
And yeah, this show is rated R for all the horrible things people will do to each other. Torturing for sport, or maybe decompression, I don't know.
For state.
And
For sport.
I think we can that sums it up right well there. We will never forget that first date. That's what I'm saying. Does anyone, for example, Rubello, want to summarize what happened last time we met for a fate die? Because you are the one with the fewest in your pool, with only 3. There's only currently 4 in the chalice.
I would if I could remember. I'm sorry, but it's been a while.
It's been a while. Okay. Shall I tell you what happened? I can do that. Unless someone does remember and wants the fate die. Everybody's just shaking their heads.
I think we split the party.
Yes, you did. Basically, you had been at Mount Rance collecting evidence of various ill-doings. You sent out orders to copy a whole bunch of posters, wanted posters, for the people that Praanz and Erald have together decided are definitely the bad guys in this, the people who are responsible for the Pietro Patralban's death.
You know it's bad when the Digitolonga and the Inquisition are working together.
That doesn't happen very often. Mostly because they are in very different lines of work. Spiritual, worldly, doesn't necessarily collide a whole lot. But right now, it seems it does, because someone has assassinated an important monk. And you're blaming it on a certain group of miscreants and adventurers.
Who also happen to be the PCs.
Yes, who also happen to be the PCs. As such, Praanz decided that he would take Promos and a whole bunch of other people. Briar, for example, you'd been doing interviews with him. And also Suludan Rumpelak, the apothecary. You brought them up to Helterham. And then you used Promos' services again. He is the taxi cab of this. He's the driver, the getaway driver. With his
Praanz
boat
only uses the best when she can.
to go back to Famkvalvi, which is recently recaptured by yourselves. Isn't it nice?
An anti-Ryan Gosling, really.
I guess. Did not see that reference coming. Erald and Rub followed up to Helterham, and from there you took a Zeppelin, the family Zeppelin, to Safina, which was a fairly quick affair, and arrived in Teagold, where the Inquisition has a strong presence, only to find out that the Oracle of Anxalis has been killed the day before you arrived. Assassinated. Rather, her guards were assassinated, and she decided to just let the ocean take her because she knew she was going to die anyway. So she became one with Anxalis. But not only that, the session ended with a bombshell that Sambarsin Trakoria revealed to Erald and Rubello about the conflux. Apparently, poor Barú Hinvasna, who is now dead, had revealed that the conflux is coming. And this piece of news is pretty significant because, of course, a conflux is a big deal. It's a big, major magic event of some kind. And that's really where we stopped on the cliffhanger there. I'm not sure how much you've been able to do research on exactly what a conflux is beyond that. But Sampra has, I believe, given you the task of trying to save as many seers as possible, didn't he, Erald?
Yeah, I think that makes the most amount of sense.
You talked about various seers across the Trakorian Islands. And do you remember where we located some of them? I have a Trakoria map for you, maybe? No, Trakoria Murders? Is that the one?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Because we did get a list of some of them that was
Yes.
taken
Yes,
out,
that's the
some
one.
that was where we should be heading.
Yes.
Yeah, because you were put on some, and then didn't I say I was going to follow some or something?
Yes. I'm gonna rename the map so I remember what it's for, but this is the map that we were talking. No, this is absolutely not the map where we're talking about. This is the map that we were talking about.
Yes.
Okay, I have all sorts of maps here. That is basically it. The little blue marks here are where people have been killed, basically, right? I should differentiate here, though, because some of these folks haven't been killed yet as far as here, for example. I'll make it green. How about green versus red? That makes it easier, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So-
green, we think they're still alive. Red, we confirmed their death.
Yeah, exactly. So, like that. This one is also still alive, as far as you know. Oh,
But we
And-
definitely know the one on Safina isn't.
yes, this is very true. The one on Safina is certainly not alive in any way, shape, or form. It's just one with the ocean. That's how we roll now. And this one would also be, in fact, green.
They had an unsuccessful mermaid transformation.
Yes, a very unsuccessful one. Here is the map. I will keep changing. So this would then be red. Red as blood for dead oracle-y kind of person. And the Kishat, there was a murder of the Shar Kishatin, so I'm counting that as high-ranking priests having been killed recently. Seems reasonable, right?
I was just going to say, so yeah, I think that probably would count.
Yeah. And there were something happening, in fact, on Transmira, where there was some kind of the Iron Gate of an abandoned mine used by Inashtar priests for some kind of seer-like rituals, and they're dead now. They went there and they died.
Excellent.
But yeah, this is some of the folks that you know about. Should I put another note here, like a little text about each one of them? So, this one here was the Anxalis priest, Anxalis seer, Anxalis oracle. I can make that in blue, because that's thematic, isn't it? Ocean blue. You know what I'm going to do,
Sense.
too? I'm going to make a difference here by just not having, so you can see everything even clearer. No, that didn't work at all.
Daytime on the map.
Yeah, I was gonna do just that. Ages map. Okay. Sorry.
Is the map still paused?
Could be because it's paused, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Or no, it's not. But it doesn't matter because I can go to lightning and I can just drop the darkness levels like that. How about that? That makes my...
Ow.
Yeah, exactly. Ow, my eyes. Sorry
Great
about that.
success.
This would be the Anxalis Oracle. down here. There is in the Intrasilva, there is an academy. And in the academy, there is a high-ranking astromancer or such. Professor studying, Syntald studying the heavens. How about that? And he is called, let me look at my notes, Primus Syntaldicus Dermasa da Trepio. That's a mouthful. Say that 20 times. I know that you know who is up here, Erald, because you put him there.
I did. Last time I was there, he was still there.
Yeah, the innocent one. You don't really know if the innocent one is a seer or an oracle or anything like that, but it's a very important religious symbol. And I'm going to use blue for that one because that seems reasonable just as a pun given the skin color. There is, in Hujjar, there is something called the White Flame, which, according to the Inquisition, is really quite harmless, possibly even just a local superstition, who knows. But there's a small shrine the locals go and worship there for some reason. And they say that they gain knowledge about the future there. Who knows if they do. And then we have in Zidisbar, there is the Crone of Balgula. They have themselves a crone in Zidisbar. Isn't that lovely?
Hard to find a good crone.
You need a good crone every once in a while.
They take so long to make.
Exactly, years in fact.
Yeah, you gotta get yourself like a good bespoke crone,
Like a fine
artisan.
wine.
Yeah, artisan crafted crones.
Well, see, the trick is to grab them while they're young, and then you train them into the crone.
Yes. And then we have probably the most anti-creationist of all of these guys, the Oracle at Bektar, which is a Luvena oracle, really. Serving the Luvena cult, no less. I don't know what you think about that, but there it is. A moon cult, who knows? Luvena oracle, like that. So there we have it, folks. An overview of all the potential seers and oracles that are at least famous enough to be known by the Inquisition and Sampra Trakoria himself. So knowing all this, what is perhaps the decision made for Erald and Rubello? Where do you want to go next? How much are you going to share with Praanz da Kaelve sitting in Falkalvi, and so on?
I think it's pretty straightforward as far as Erald's concerned. He's got his marching orders from Samerson.
Yep.
And the fact that Praetorna, for all intents and purposes, is still under control of us, quote unquote, grand scheme of things.
Yep.
It would make sense for us to go searching there before walking into Zidsabar, or literally the worst place ever, and visiting a Luvena oracle for as far as Erald's concerned. It's probably finding out what's currently going on in our own backyard. So maybe the first turn in coin, quite literally, is probably to find out more about Primus, and I'm just going to call him Primus. It's easier. Sorry.
Primus Syntaldicus Dermas da Trepio.
Primus, yes.
It's fine. Praanz can't even pronounce her own last name, so...
So what do you think of that, Rubello?
I have no complaints.
Are you going to come get your muscle?
So I have a GM question.
Yes.
How did this happen in Samberson's backyard without Samberson noticing with 3 levels of influence?
Oh, the little assassination part?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a good question?
Okay.
There was left behind. There was left behind the little striped frog. 3 influence
Right.
doesn't mean that your security is inassailable. It just means that it's that much harder, and someone probably somewhere spent some fate dice to get around it. Or brought extra resources.
Okay. Cool. So that means we can do the same. Got it.
Isn't this the thing that we witnessed out of
It
character
is
when it was
100.
just the ladies?
Wait, what?
The frog.
Yeah.
The frog was also there whenever the assassination.
The frog
of
was the drunken monk.
Yeah, the drunken monk. Yes.
But there was a thing that happened when it was just the ladies playing one night, and I think that this might be the thing.
Possible.
Let's see now. Erald would recall. Erald was at the banquet, right?
Yes.
I was sitting right next to. Sitting right next to old Dark and Stinky, as far as Erald's concerned. Whenever he was handed the frog by the drunken monk.
Yeah, monk? I don't know. He was a drunken nobleman.
Drunken nobleman.
Yeah,
appearing
his
to be
fight
drunk.
style said drunken monk.
Yes.
If he was a member of the Rabdurana organization, then yes, a drunken monk who really wasn't drunken. Yes, you're right.
Yes.
Praanz picked that up pretty quickly.
Yeah, Praanz picked that up pretty quickly.
So yes, so this metaphorical black hand cult that Erald's now seen twice in relation to the striped frog.
Yeah.
Do they have a metaphorical signature of how to contact them, or is this very much there everywhere and nowhere all at once? Very Skyrim Black Hand and Game of Thrones. I am no one.
Obviously, people can. This calls for a scholar check, doesn't it, my friends? And
Yes.
Erald isn't one of those.
Yeah.
Erald is not a scholar at all, is it? Nope. Nope, not much. But Rubello might be. Nope. He has
No.
Shamashi truce and wind magic. Okay.
I'm not there, but just out of curiosity, does the Inquisition have files on them?
I was
Yes,
just going to go.
yes.
Just going to go ahead and say before we leave Sanderson, because we're still on the island for all intents
Yeah,
and purposes.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Is this something where I can lean into him to be like, "Hey, dude, you've got Animist behind the scenes. It's the enemy of my enemy situation here. Do we know how to contact these guys?"
This is the city of Teagold, where you currently are. You're obviously at the temple islet.
Yep.
That's where you guys are. And since you are in that location, you will also have access to the library. It is a temple, after all. Of course it will have a library of some sort. Well, I'm going to allow you to do some research there come morning. Because unless you want to do it overnight, I don't know. Do you want to do it overnight? Are we burning the midnight candle here? Literally?
Oh yeah, quite literally.
Oh dear. That's pretty intense.
Erald has caught a whiff of something. He's going.
Yes.
I'll sleep on the Zeppelin. It's fine.
Erald has got his Gand up, as they say.
I've been told a temporary gold by my shadow player. I have to go towards it.
This is true. Yeah. You have a while before... Do you need a new shadow command, by the way?
I'm assuming so, based off of the between games.
I think I can give you a shadow command here.
I think I do too.
Yeah, I think Rubello's probably also.
No, mine's still relevant.
Learns about... Okay. You decide on your temporary goal here, Erald. That's not Sambrason's business. Rubello, I mean, your shadow command is still in effect, let's say. It's still in effect. It hasn't changed, and it won't change until you check your third experience and level up, then you will get a new command. So anyway, we find ourselves on the island of Teagold, of Safina, and the city of Teagold, the island of the Temple District. And you want to do research, Erald, and maybe Rubello is the one who's actually going to do the research for you, because your wind is terrible, Erald, isn't it? Yes, no?
Yep, 100% is. I just pulled the books off the shelves and put them in front of Rubello.
Yeah. I don't even know if you want to try... Is there any way you can help Rubello at all with your, like...
Machinator. I'm basically able to see the fine details, maybe within the web of thought process, like for insight.
Yeah, if I'm putting myself in the shoes of a sinister group of assassin monks, where would I
Basically.
be? Yeah.
Yeah.
That works. Do you want to spend a fate die on that, or are we just
I
rolling
will.
more? Okay. Going out hard tonight.
Yep.
So, then you get to roll 3 dice on this. That is a 6, my friends, and a 6 means that you gain a success and a crit, 2 more dice to Rubello. Also, not just that, Rubello, you get 3 dice for your wind. I'm going to give you a brand spanking 2 dice for the library you're in. It's a good library. And then 2 dice for Erald. So you have 7 dice altogether. There's monks here who are helping you find things. It's a good place to be. When you want to do research, be at a library. Be in a temple. You could get 3 for being at Isekra.
Wow.
But you're not at Isekra.
Do you want me to roll those 7 now?
Yes, please. That was a terrible...
Do you have any experiences that might help you with the
That's
situation?
like not a single success.
No, I don't have any.
No, he
experiences
is
for
bad at this. Okay,
Well,
then.
What are your experiences, dude?
this. Mostly
Everything...
involving wind.
Yeah, it's wind magic.
Yeah, but how did you learn the wind magic?
Through prayer.
Did
And
it involve
experience.
any studying whatsoever?
No.
No, just dedication.
Yeah.
Maybe you're so dedicated to finding the answer.
I
Come on,
don't
man. I'm
see
trying
how...
to throw you a poem.
Yeah,
Think
I know.
outside the box.
Yeah, I don't see how these spirits would. Thinking outside the box would be to maybe make a spell and ask some wind spirits if they have seen some of the culprits and where can we find them.
Is it very inclement weather outside?
The weather currently is, I'm going to say that this took a couple of hours. It's now 2 a.m. and you're very frustrated that you haven't found anything. No, it is not inclement weather in any way, shape, or form. It is a light breeze, and you have some clouds, but I wouldn't call it inclement. But a light breeze is a light breeze, right? That means some wind is around.
I was just saying, if it was like really noisy, like really windy, maybe Rubello could calm those wind spirits so we could focus better on researching.
Nah, I'm gonna be an evil man. Yeah, no, it doesn't apply. Rubello surprisingly finds himself... Apparently this library is so much focused on the ocean and shipping and trade and sailors and fishers and the life of sea life, ocean life. If you were a marine biologist, this would be heaven. But you're not. You're looking for a sinister murder sect from Trinsmira that live up in the mountains, and it turns out that this library has nothing useful for you. You'll have to go and try somewhere else.
Darn.
Very sad. Meanwhile, what is Praanz doing in Partorna? You are in your favorite spot in the world, Tham Kvalvi. I really
Gathering
should-
information.
What kind of information are we talking about?
I can't remember. I was torturing somebody.
Yeah, but that was about the family, wasn't it?
Maybe. I don't remember.
No, we are also on the hunt, right?
Yeah, we are also supposed to be looking for seers. That's part of the Inquisition too. The Inquisition's looking into that as well.
Yeah, but Provost doesn't really give too much of a rat's ass about the Inquisition's stuff. He's here for personal vengeance alongside Praanz.
We were looking into Lady Terralisi's death.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And,
I want the people responsible.
I remember last session that people were taking Lady Terralisi's body to her home, but you would have done, I'm sure, a proper autopsy of her.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah. And knife wound plus very potent poison, that is not easy to find. Specialist level poison stuff.
What is the poison made of?
Oh, that's an excellent question, isn't it?
I happen to have my alchemist right there, don't I? Didn't I take him back with me?
You have in your... We haven't actually built these yet. In Famqualdi, you have a whole bunch of resources. You have escape-proof cells. They're escape-proof now. Everybody who works in this fortress are like hand-picked. They are personally employed and checked out with magical methods, because what happened before is not going to happen again. They also get very well paid, so they can't be bribed. And if a prisoner escapes, they will lose their lives. That's part of the contract.
Yeah.
And
part of being one of Praanz's pain management specialists.
Exactly. You have your own library with maybe a handful of scholars. You can always ask them, and they will have up to level 3 in scholarship.
I would assume I would also have my own poisoner here.
Yeah, obviously.
So I'll have my alchemist look at it.
And there's also...
Would I have a medic? Like a doctor?
I'm sure. You need to keep the people alive long enough after they've been tortured, right?
Exactly.
Yes, a medic, a potion maker, scholars. Right across the bay, there's also the Academy of Tresilva, where you can find scholars who have scholarship level 5. Because they're good. Though they may or may not want to work for the Digitalonger until you present your badge. You also have 4 trustworthy spellcasters inside the fortress. And they have, I'm going to say, mentalism, illusionism, animism, and the last one is up to you, really. It's going to be some kind of element they have control over, or healing.
Probably a healer.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're going to be strong at it. They're like level 3 at least.
Yeah, Praanz isn't stupid. She's going to keep a healer around just on the off chance that somebody gets uppity.
Yeah. So your fortress is well applied, which isn't surprising.
Okay, I'm going to have them track down that poison then.
Yep.
Because if it's good, then there's probably only a handful of people who can make it.
If it's hard to get, it either requires specialized construction or the ingredient to get it is rare.
Right.
And if we're looking for somebody who's from some kind of monastic society, they're going to be separated and reserved.
Probably
which
tracked in
means-
shipping.
Yeah, which means that they're either going to be following different shipping routes, or that their base and homestead is going to be near to wherever the source of this specialized poison is.
Yeah.
But I believe that you had concluded, much like the others, that Rabdarana is involved. You've seen the striped frog. It's not going to be a surprise to you if the investigation into this comes back. Yeah, this is the kind of poison that Rabdarana uses on a regular.
What's it made of? What kind of mushrooms? We need to know where those mushrooms grow.
Ah, okay. Let's have a look.
Also,
This
Praanz will start pulling up any files the Digitalonger has on this Black Hand assassin group.
Yeah,
Because
that
I'm
shouldn't be
sure
hard.
we have some. And she will pull any and all scholars she has that are experts in assassination. Because I'm sure I have a few.
Yeah. The poison in question. Let me look through the annals of texts and so on. Oh. Suddenly my computer got all, yeah, don't do this to me. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna. It's that one? Yeah. It was what book again? That one.
I just realized my hands look weird because they're off screen fidgeting. It's like a squishy cat ball thing.
I thought that you were knitting.
No, normally I am, but I forgot my yarn in the other room because I was dealing with my kids. Squishy cat ball.
Yes, the poison in question, black blood, it requires some of the stomach acids from Fuzzard. and also a series of exotic animal teeth being crushed. Yeah, it's very potent.
Yes.
Was-
What animals?
Wasn't
Here we go.
Fuzzard only on Zombie Island?
No, Fuzzards are native also to Trinsmira.
Okay.
And this tracks really with the records in Famfaldi. Like this, the sect Rabdorana is said to be a religious sect.
Okay.
Murder monks who see themselves as the blade of Inashtar.
Who
Inashtar
is
being,
Inashtar?
Inashtar being very much worshipped on Trinsmira. Inashtar is the goddess of fire, passion, dance, and apparently also death.
Oh,
Putting on my Lavina hat for a second.
Yep.
Don't I know this goddess?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Didn't I do some moon trickery with the bad guys before I became Lavina?
Linvina was doing... Yeah, but that was with Luvena, the moon goddess. Not Inashtar,
okay.
you see.
can I put on my especially fancy I'm a Trinismiran hat and roll to see what I know about these guys?
Absolutely. It's going to be a win check anyway, but I will allow that.
Can I assist him with my files?
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe my files jog your memory.
Your files are very good. +3.
If you've got a guy that'll read them, all right, give me a moment.
Yes, Inashtar is the goddess of fire, war, and unbridled lusts.
She sounds like fun.
She's a hoot, but her followers are nuts.
Yes.
Clearly.
She
I wonder if they're
is
for hire though.
the special, the goddess who protects Trinsmira, and said to be Enki's daughter. Yeah. It's deeply rooted among the people, this worship of her. There's no organized church for her. All women are more or less, which means that they have a part of the essence of the goddess. For this reason, the women have a very strong position on Trinsmira. She doesn't very often get depicted or painted, but when it happens, she's depicted as a stunningly beautiful woman with a spear and some armor details, surrounded by wildly flaming fires. Other symbols are the dove with a hawk's head, or the bugle with lyre strings attached to it.
So once we clock this, like Promos is going to pound the table and say, "So are we going?
Oh yeah.
Boat can hold 6. Pick who you're bringing."
Okay.
You would also know, because you rolled that many successes, didn't you?
I think I got the 1-6.
You got a 1-6 and a 5.
Yeah.
Durana, at least Praanz would know this. I mean, they're higher swords. They are fanatically loyal to Anashtar, yes, but they also take contracts. The trick is, how do you find them? How do you connect with them? How do you actually pay for their services? There has to be someone to talk to, but you don't know that because you've never had reason to do it too often. At least before your time, when you were still just a colonel in the Digitalonga, other people handled that. Because the Digitalonga has definitely contracted the Raldorana every once in a while when someone needed to be taken off the Smickelboard.
Would there be a paper trail of that? Those off the record files that aren't files that.
I think so, yeah, I think so.
And now running the Digitalonga, I'm assuming that I would be able to access those files now.
Hopefully. Unfortunately, let's have a roll for that, actually.
Okay, what do you want me to
The
roll?
roll is going to determine wind +3 for files and stuff.
Can I assist in some way with local knowledge of like different cities or economic? Yeah, you may find these guys up in the mountains, but the talk is going to be in the cities.
Roll 3 wind for Promos. Look
Yeah.
at that. Promos does help a lot. That is, in fact, 3 extra dice for you, Praanz. Now
Okay.
you have 8 dice.
And I could not have rolled worse. I could have
You
rolled worse,
could have
but that
rolled
was still
worse.
bad.
You could have rolled worse, but that was so bad. Rubello, you're in good company, apparently.
I guess so.
Don't worry.
Became the youngest winner in history of the fencing competition. I don't give up that easily. These files have to be here somewhere. This
Fair
is
enough,
my
fair
goddamn
enough.
mountain. I'll find them.
Fine, fair enough.
I will
I
roll
like their
7.
use there. You will discover that a whole bunch of the files were obviously destroyed by the family when they were momentarily in possession of Famqualvi, so it's gonna take you extra time to find stuff. Very annoying, as
When I get my
people have to basically puzzle back together pieces of paper that have been torn up, try to see this paper was burnt, but maybe we can still make out the letters, that kind of thing. It's gonna take a while. But we have a dawn of a new day, don't we? While
Don't let time be much of an issue. I can get us back to Trinus Mirror fast.
Okay.
I know those routes.
Because
Yes,
it's either that, or I just walk around Transmira going, "Hey, assassins, the Digitalonga wants to talk to you," and wait for somebody to try to kill me.
I know what to do once we get there. I just need a port.
Okay.
for burning the midnight oil at both ends for everyone, I'll give you a point of exhaustion. But Erald and Rubello, you've been frustrated on your island, while Praanz and Promos are frustrated on theirs. What are you doing on your island now that the sun has come up?
Is there anywhere else to look for information?
Oh, there's plenty of places to look for information. There is an academy in Chasilva, which is chock full with documents, a good library. Even though Paratornans never use libraries, because reading, really. There is a good university at Maravelda that also holds a decent library. There is one in Fontrasilor. The best library in the world, or at least in the islands, is in Isakrapir.
I think at a high level, Rubello, is we could go to Hodajar and see if we can find out any further information about the white flame that's there. And then at that point, we can try and see if we can catch up with Praanz back in Paratorna. Maybe they've got some better luck than we have.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think that's the best bet. Like, really, at the end of the day, I know what's over in Palamux waiting for us, metaphorically speaking. Nobody over there is going to be nice. And Trinsmera is probably not much better. Worst case scenario, yeah, we can go try and find the white flame. We can go try and talk to the innocent one again. Me and the little blue guy's best friends, promise. Or Rubello, rather. And yeah, but yeah, I think maybe we head to Hojijar.
Okay. It's early in the morning. There is a Zeppelin lent to you by the Goombas. And you can take it to travel all the way to Hodjar, absolutely.
Before I leave, I'll talk to Sambasar and basically advise that we will be going to basically Paratorna to follow up on the seers that are there. And if he knows anything or can find out anything further about basically the striped frog and anything further about Rob Dorona, to basically let us know back in, oh my gosh, bad with places, where Praanz currently is in Paratorna.
From Quality, yeah.
Yep, and to send any notes along to there.
That works. All right, so you have a plan, and it's of course going to take you a few days, 3 or so, to travel all that way. But it's the fastest way you can get there, just straight across. Flying is nice. Zeppelins are awesome. There will never be a scene of "Oh, the humanity" in Trakoria, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. So you leave on the 13th of Feteska in the morning, right?
Yep.
And start traveling. I'm gonna say you can go about 90 miles per day in that thing. And since someone else is driving it, you will basically get across the Silken Sea before the day is over. Unfortunately, it's going to be hard for you to get messages back and forth when you're airborne. What is Praanz and Promos doing during this fine morning of Feteska the 13th?
I'm waiting for them to figure, my scholars to figure out the information I'm looking for.
Ah, do we want to roll some scholarship then? I'll give them 3 wind, of course, because they're scholars, and 3 for scholarship. Can I nag some of your fate dice for that, perhaps?
Sure, that's Praanz's library.
This is your job. They're doing it on your
Command.
command. Yeah, exactly. It's a word, apparently.
I can throw my command at it.
Yes. So, they will do their job here. That is going to be 6 dice. I'll give them an extra for the libraries and archives and everything that they have access to. Maybe 2. So, 3, 6, 8. There we go. 8 dice. What was the question again?
We were trying to figure out how the Digitalonga has contacted this assassination group in the past.
That's what we did. Okay, let me have a look then. All answers shall be given. You're in luck! The Digitalonga has records. You can ask me 3 questions with that roll. I have 2 6s and you get 1 question for free. Ask me 3 questions about the Rabdarana and the previous connections.
Who runs them?
Who runs them? That is unknown. They are... Let's see now. How much would be known about their... You will know this much. They're basically divided in cells that are represented, as far as you know, all across the islands.
How do we contact them when we want information?
You
or
contact...
to hire.
They will have go-betweens on specially selected taverns where you order the right type of drink with the right type of coin, and then you will be contacted in turn.
Okay. And how good is the relationship with the Digitalonga?
Professional. They're happy to do business with you. Give us a mark and we will see it done. They're expensive, but they're good. They've never not delivered on a contract.
So this is a John Wick type of scenario then?
Yes.
Okay.
They're basically
All right, Promos, we're going to a bar.
They're the
Which
most...
one? No, honest question then. Which one? I know a lot of the bars, especially around the coasts of Trinismira and especially around whaling season. Do you want to go to the quiet ones? Do you want to go to the mean ones? Do you want to go to the ones where I have the worst ex-girlfriends or the best?
What's the name of the bar I need to go to, and what's the name of the drink I need to order?
It says there in the documents.
Okay.
It's not a bar that Promos would be used to.
I need to go X.
This place, let me see.
Yeah, which major city are we closest to?
Oh, you're closest to Trasilda, the capital city.
No, I meant in Trinismira.
Oh, in Trinismira, that would be Vumbra, which is up here.
Okay, yeah, Vumbra?
Yep.
I'm assuming we can contact them from a bar there, too.
Probably.
Yeah, if they're all over the island, I can get us straight into Vumbra.
Of course, Vumbra now being... Oh, wait, let's go back to the shadow play, shall we? Let's have a look. It's currently in the hands of... Look, Ariano da Spinalunga! You can ask.
So I'm fine.
Yeah, Rubello can spend a fate die to give you any type of help you want in Vumbra. Enjoy it while it lasts. How about that? Perfect time to go there, isn't it? Kark is back in Trakorian hands, isn't it nice? So we're going to Vumbra then, instead of Tresilva?
Yeah, if it's closer and faster and I can reach them from there, then why go all the way to Tresilva?
Tresilva is much closer and faster because it's right across your bay here. It's the cap.
But if we go to Trinismira, we can go directly to the source.
That's true. That's their
Right,
home base is ostensibly in Tresilva.
And that is Promos's, like, functionally his childhood stomping grounds. Like, he knows the waters around Trinismira.
That's true.
Gol Monda is right here.
Okay, well, let's go there then.
Yeah, Promos will spend the morning sleeping once he has this information. And while Praanz gets her crew, he'll just tell them, you can take this much on the boat, weight-wise.
All right.
Okay.
How much of a crew do you want to bring there, Praanz?
Okay, Transmira, is that in our hands or is that in their hands?
Kark is currently in your hands.
Okay.
So Vumbra is in your hands for now. It could shift by the end of the month.
It just depends on whether or not I bring the ogre.
He would count for 2,
I know. Yep.
weight-wise.
No.
But Promos does like him.
Are we going to bring your old friends?
I'm just debating whether or not I need the muscle versus how much I want to stand out.
I would recommend bring the poisoner, bring a healer, just in case things go topsy-turvy.
Oh yeah, they were coming anyway.
And then people who can be subtle.
Okay. Poisoner, healer, and 2 pain management specialists.
That will be torturers then.
Yes. Pain management specialists.
Pain management specialist. Okay, we're gonna need here, I said, torturer, pain management specialist, management specialist, and I'm gonna duplicate that one because we're bringing 2 of them. And then you wanted to have what? Did we want to bring the ogre?
No, we're going to bring the healer and the poisoner. We're going to be a little bit more subtle about this.
We are bringing the actual sorcerer healer.
Yes, the magical healer.
Very well. And the poisoner from Famqualdi.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about Suladon, who's over in Helperham. Very well then. So that's 1,
my
2, 3,
my
4 people.
specific poisoner.
Your specific poisoner. Yep, that's 4 people. A sloop of the sort Promos has, right? You have a sloop, don't you?
Yes.
Up sloop. May not look like much, but
It's the fastest ship in the Trakorian Navy.
exactly.
Praanz uses it exclusively when she can.
If a fishing boat could be... The fishing boat as a parallel to the Millennium Falcon is really not bad, because the Millennium Falcon is basically a space Winnebago. Yeah.
Spaceballs.
Yes, you heard the... Yeah, it's...
We're gonna go plaid, Mikael. We're gonna go plaid.
You're gonna go plaid. Sloop. Yeah, crew of 5. Yep. I guess that's your own crew there, Promos?
Yeah, and mostly they're passengers. Promos has made this journey on his own. He lives on his boat.
What is your boat called?
Aoife.
Aoife. Aoife's crew. I'm gonna have 5 people who are like sailors, and they just pull the rope where you need them to.
Yeah.
Is someone at the till, or do you do the till as well as the captaining?
Promos usually does the till as well as the captaining because he's usually on the boat alone. It's meant to be, it's designed to be sailed just by him if necessary.
Ooh. Here, it's not necessary. So you need to. You can have some sailors who can pull a rope here and pull a rope there.
Fantastic. What's the whale tracking like during this season?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. If I roll high, it's awesome. Apparently not. Completely wrong season for whale tracking.
All right, then what? Then how is the wind going?
The wind is going.
Yeah, this time of year, it's which way are the winds blowing? From due north, so we got to get across it.
Yep. It'll be west, and then you have to tack. That's the word.
Yeah.
Tack of it. But you're gonna sleep for a few hours there while Praanz is gathering the crew, and then you're going to leave, aren't you? Everybody gets into Aoife, and off you go towards Transmira. Now, as luck would have it, you're navigating your way north. You are going along a coastline, and you're following a very known trade route, basically. Because there's a lot of trade going from Tresilva up the west coast of Paratorna straight to Vumbra. This is major highway.
I've probably done this run hundreds of times.
I would think so. No roll necessary. You will not get lost here. You are going to travel about 100 Trakorian miles in 24 hours. So that brings us to...
Can I make a roll to do that faster?
I would allow it, yes.
I've got... And Pathfinder.
Yeah, Pathfinder only applies to on land.
On land, okay.
But
so we'll use that when we get it. Skipper.
Yeah, you can put 2 fate dice into your skipper roll. Roll wind plus 2 fate dice then. You don't have to roll for navigate here, it's just getting that extra little
we're just
wind.
aiming for speed.
Yeah. You're basically going hornblower on this thing.
That's hilarious.
Hey, Promos has traveled before just by harpooning a whale and letting it tow him where he needed to go.
It's like there's an excellent moment in the Hornblower books. I don't know if anyone else but me reads them, where Hornblower insists on moving one of the cannons away from the center line, so there's a gap in the firing sequence, which is like a big aesthetical no for other British officers. But by doing that, he just trims the ship ever so slightly to coax that much more speed out of the ship, which is, of course, gonna turn out to be very important later. And that's the kind of thing you're doing. You're just shifting the cargo here, tightening up the nuts over there, having a reef in the sail at that exact angle, and whoosh, off you go.
I just imagine Promos coming around and be like, no, you have to sit here, and you have to sit there, and I need you to move back here.
You there, guy number 2, get in that other guy's lap. It'll only be for like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Right, get real close. We want to take advantage of this.
Exactly. And in so doing, you are going amazingly fast. You hit the right streams. Yeah. You will go faster than the normal. I'll give you 120 this day. How about that? So that brings you to about up here by the day's end.
Oh, and because I know Erald and Rubello are basically on the same case as us,
yeah,
I will leave word at Halterham from where we were to them of basically where we're going. Got a lead going X.
Yeah. You're going to be halfway since we're getting to midnight here and so on and so forth. Let me check my notes. Oh, we're on the oceans now. This is not a medieval town anymore. We're out on the traveling on an ocean. Right? That's much better, isn't it? With some sea foam in your face. Doesn't it feel good, Promos, to be on the waves again? All these incompetent people who don't know how to be on a ship.
But it's company. It's a Promos likes people. He talks a lot when as he's sailing, And I think that Praanz definitely gets the sense that even if nobody else was there, he'd be doing the same thing. He just babbles.
Which is actually perfect, because Praanz is the opposite of Jess, where she would just sit there stoning silently, and anybody else would assume that she was angry or murderous intent, but that's just her resting face. Praanz has resting psychopath face.
I think during the trip, Promos will like occasionally just look back at her and ask her questions, like poke responses. More than happy to do the bulk of the conversation, but it is an engaged thing. He's talking plans. So what are we going to do? Are we gonna march into the temples and demand to see the receipts? Are we gonna hire him to double the price? Do I need to think about joining an order or what? What do we need to do?
No, I'm sure once we get talking, I find the right one, I'm sure I can pay enough for the information we need. They are mostly for the money.
Money is good. The money is good, but this is religion.
Yeah, but this is my kind of religion. If there's anybody that understands blood, sex, and torture.
No, we'll get you there fast as we can. We'll talk to the right people, find the right bars, have a right drink, maybe get into a fight or two. We'll find our way.
I love a good fight.
Sounds good. I'm making some notes here because I can. Not because there's any reason to or anything, right? Just some notes. I need to do that with. There is where we put that. Incidentally, this is the same kind of noise that Erald and Rubello will hear on their journey as you are traveling above the oceans. I'll allow you to regain your exhaustion because clearly you are able to rest while on the ship, while on the Zeppelin. What are you doing on the Zeppelin as you see the waters below go by?
Erald will probably go ahead and obviously talk here with both Guello and our dear friend Rubello and basically try and get a plan together of once we actually arrive in Hodijar. Based off what we know, the little amount about the White Flame and the fact that it's more of a folklore in the area, where to really go and find out more and if there's actually even a temple or if it's just a matter of talking to the locals. Because I think you mentioned specifically this one's more folky than an actual specific temple, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It seems to be. That's the information you got. Rubello, any opinions on that? Do you want to Promos manage to coax some extra speed out of his sails by being a good sailor? You do have connections to various wind spirits, if you want to try it. Get the right wind to take you all to the right place. Do you want to do that? I don't hear you right now, Drake, for some reason.
Oh, my mic was muted. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Is there any spirits that are being, like, troublesome?
You will basically have to do 2 wind magic spells here. One is to introduce yourself and ask nicely, and the other is to get them to actually do the thing. So that's going to cost you 2 fate dice eventually, 1 at a time. So let's see if there is any wind spirits around that might help you. Roll 4 dice, because you have your wind plus the wind magic. That will succeed. Now, it succeeds at cost because you don't have a 6. What is the cost here for you? Let's have a look. Could be one of several problems that happens here. Magic mishaps. Does it give you any kind of misery? You can take 1 point of misery in any of your bloods. Does the magic change your appearance permanently? Will a spirit attack you or do some mischief on the ship?
Some mischief on the ship. Sure, why not?
Some mischief on the ship? So yeah, you're reaching out to speak to the wind spirits, and there's so many of them here. Sulfides that just dance around the sail. You can see them for your eyes, how they're playing catch around the actual balloon form and doing all sorts of shenanigans that young winds will do. Some of them, I mean, for them it's harmless, but for you guys it might not be harmless. And pinching one of those albadors might not be the best thing. I think probably the whole thing will rock and turn to the other side, away from your objective when the birds panic because of the fun things that the winds are having. I'm gonna roll, and I'm gonna use some of the GM dice here to try to get control over this whole thing. That worked. Wow. The navigator, the Zeppelin coach driver is used to this kind of shenanigans, and with a quick use of a whip and pulling of the right reins, he manages to get everything back into control again. But for a hairy moment there, it was not looking good for you guys. It was
bad wind. No, bad wind.
Bad wind. But at least you have caught the attention of a wind, Rubello. It's a jumpy little wind that spins around you a lot, tickles you under your chin, and maybe blows under your large caftan and makes it go up a bit. Because it's so roomy in there.
Rubello's got a Marilyn Monroe moment.
Well, there's nothing really to be ashamed of. It's just people up here that I'm sure they experience it too. You won't be embarrassed or
So
anything
what
about
can
that.
I help you with? Oh, master of the winds, you speak our language. Whee!
We need a northeasterly wind.
A northeasterly wind. A northeasterly wind, you say?
Yes. We would be very appreciative of you and all of your friends if you would give us the aid we seek.
Wind weaving. All right. I'll give you a difficulty 2 on the roll. Are we going to do... No, it's a smaller shift, I'd say. It's not even a big shift. Difficulty 1. Are we going to use Erald as a help here? Because Erald can do ritual help.
Sure.
Do it as a ritual. Erald helps out. That's weird. Doesn't that work? If I do that, and then I do that, and then I do that, and then... It doesn't. Okay, weird. Anyway, Erald, you can use... Are we going to use fire here? Because you're pyromancer?
Yep.
So you will supply 1 die by heating up fire that keeps the Zeppelin balloon aloft, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
your
the
thing.
quite literal hot air that is keeping the...
The literal hot air.
Yeah.
And then we have... Let's see now. Then we have the ritual, where you can add a die for that. 2, I believe. 2 more dice for you. Rubello, as you use your second fate die for this. So that's going to give you 3 wind, 4 for the fate die, and 2 more dice. 6 dice in total.
I hope I get at least 1 success.
Otherwise,
The last 7
It's not
be
library
bad.
on this.
Oh. Okay. 4
that is a
success.
lot of successes. There's no 6 in here, I would say. And I happen to know someone who has an experience that says that wind spirits, if you want to use that to re-roll...
Yeah, they're being still a little bit feisty after trying to calm them down.
Yeah.
So I'll try again to see if I can do it.
So how many dice do you want to read? No, not... Oh, you wanted to re-roll all dice? You don't have to do that. You can re-roll only failures. But that's okay, because the second
Got a
roll was
6.
even better. Now you got a 6. So that was, you had 4 successes before. Now you have 4 successes with a 6, which is better. And also you're going to level up. So that's nice. Yes, you are basically having to have a daddy talk to this wind. How do you talk to the wind to make it calm the F down?
You would make it bored by talking about the birds and the bees. And
I was gonna say,
everything.
otherwise, pretend you're talking to one of your cats.
One of my cats is adorable, and the other one's an idiot. So
So pretend you're talking to the idiot.
You gotta grab by the scruff of the neck and be like, "You listen here, you little shit."
hold the wind by the tail so he doesn't move. Hey, I'm talking to you.
Eat the pill.
Exactly. Classic.
Just hold his head back. I am looking for answers.
Yeah, that is a success altogether, and you're gonna be deep in over Britalva by the time dawn comes around again. And let's see, you are going to be, by the time dawn comes around, you're up the coast there. So we are on the 14th, and it is dawn of the 14th of Feteska. You're racing across the lands now. You don't have to do any more spell binding here. This wind is going to keep carrying you. You should, in fact, thanks to this little trick of yours, be able to arrive in just one more day instead of 2.5. So, good for you, Rubello.
I think I need to restart the page because I don't have access to my sheet. I dropped connection for a second.
That might be the case, yeah. You also need to do something to regain some fate dice there, Rubello, and I would recommend general give in to emotional temptation or communicate the will of the gods to someone.
I don't think Will of the Gods would be fitting on this ship. There's probably not that many people.
No, it's you and Erald and the coachman.
Maybe some emotional temptation. Are you frustrated because those wind spirits were naughty?
Also,
maybe he'll have a little bit of reflection on when it blew up his cloak there, or what did you call it? You said the wind blew up.
oh, you like your
Sounds
robes?
Yeah. Maybe he'll have a little bit of reflection on that and be like, oh, I didn't wash my legs recently. They might see me as dirty. Oh no.
How are you going to survive that? We'll see how you handle that later. When you do something, some kind of shenanigans that get in the way of the investigation, because of this, I'll give you a fate die. Speaking of that, I'm looking over your sheet here. Your new temporary goal, you obviously have delivered Lady Taralisi home, so that doesn't apply anymore. What might be a new goal for you?
Maybe gaining more insight into the workings of these assassins.
Yep. I like it. And now that you're leveling up during a night on a Zeppelin, what is a big experience that happened to Rubello da Sampra since this game began for him? Something formative, something that changed his outlook on life.
Party everybody was at where he was just drinking water. He might look back on that and be like, maybe if I did try to open up a little bit and experience the party more, I could develop my relations with people to help me spread the truth. If I figure out how they work, perhaps I can put my own words, my own truths into them.
I failed developing my relations with people when I had the chance to spread the word of the gods. How about that? I like that. You will also gain a new ability level. What are we gaining? What kind of ability are we gaining?
Maybe another level of wind magic.
That makes sense. You've been working a lot with that. You now have level 2 for that too.
It wouldn't make sense to pick up like sword fighting.
Right.
No sense at all.
Lo could have taught you.
We are seeing the emergence of a powerful creationist spellcaster, powerful cleric, in fact, here. It's a new day. It's the 14th of Feteska, the 3rd month of the year. You are traveling as quickly as you possibly can across the landscapes. I don't know if there's a whole lot else to add. It's going to take you the rest of this day to get up to Hodjar. Is there anything special you want to do there, Erald and Rubello?
No, Erald will just be taking in these wonderful sights, considering he hasn't been on Zeppelin too much up to this inclusion, so he's just very much enjoying the scenery as it flies by. And yeah, just thinking about the task ahead.
Yeah. Praanz and Promos, meanwhile, by noon of this day, you will have reached the end of Paratorna. To get to Kark, Vumbra will be half a day of sailing. You should be there by evening, unless Promos want to do another sailing check to coax some more speed out of this.
I'd be glad to. Let's see, that's...
That would be your... Yeah, there we go. Wow. That's a definite success right there. 3 successes, in fact, with 1 being a 6, so nothing goes wrong. You are going to absolutely be able to coax. Not quite as much as last time, but some. Did you want to... No, you don't have any other experiences that actually pertain to sailing, do you?
Not necessarily to the sailing, but I've got one that I'm gonna try and find the right kind of people once we actually get into the port.
But yeah, that was a quite good roll. So let me update your fate die collection here. You'd been hoarding, sir. You'd been hoarding, which is not a bad thing. Normally, it would take you more than half a day to get there, but because you rolled so well, it's gonna take you half a day, and by half a day, half of 24 hours. 12 hours to get up there, which means that you arrive in Vumbra by midnight.
You're the commander from here.
Alright, first things first, we need a place to crash for at least a little bit. We're not gonna find anybody at midnight. The bars won't even be open.
That's a fair point. We are back on Trinsmira, folks, and that means Vumbra map. Isn't it nice? You've been here before, haven't you?
I'm pretty sure Praanz has, yeah.
Yeah, Praanz has. This was the place where you had all the weird things in the corridor that never... And you met the secretary again and again.
Oh, this is where Praanz was like, I fucking hate magic and I need my...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that place. That's where you are now. And...
About magicians this time.
Yeah, this time you're better off in the sense that you are not... You are in control... Your side is in control of Vumbra right now.
Yeah.
How about that? And you can see the banners of the Trakorian Empire flying proudly over, and the navy is coming back and all that. Question to Rubello da Sampra, who is, of course, the one who sponsors, who is sponsored by Ariano da Spinalunga. Do you want to use a fate die here to give them some help? Because influence level 3 that you have right now in Kark can give them like the entire garrison. They can command it. Yeah, any extensive help. Money, information, people, the whole command of the garrison, whatever.
Yeah, definitely with informants.
Alright, so 1 fate die spent for support for that. And now... Unfortunately, Rubello, you're currently out of fate dice, but I have a feeling that Erald, who's been with you for a while, at least have a relationship level 1 with you by now.
Yep.
So I'm gonna put down Taralisi's no longer here, but Rubello is. So your relation is knowledge 1 at least, and spend that so you can give him a fate die.
Yep.
So now Rubello has 1. And Praanz, do you know Rubello at all? I don't know that you do.
We investigated a crime scene together.
Do you feel that's enough for level 1?
Probably for Praanz.
I'll be generous. That would be Rubello You'll have to decide what your relationship is. Do you want to give him a fate die? Is one of my questions.
I don't even know how many fate die I have.
You have 4 at this moment.
Yeah, sure, I'll give him a fate die.
All right. That is your gift for this time. So Rubello now has 2 fate dice. I don't think Promos and Rubello know each other too well.
I think there might be a way for me to come at it from what is Promos's personal reputation in this town, but that's as much as he can lean on.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be much. You're going to have to get to know Promos later on, Rubello. But at least you have 2 fate dice now to use for things, which I'm sure you'll need later on. You're going to have to preach to some people soon, that's what I'm saying. While Praanz and Promos are arriving in Vumbra, where are you going to stay for the night? Is it going to be like the officers, the garrison?
Yeah, I'm assuming Praanz
Bash
is
the door
just gonna
down.
stay with the officers, have
Yep.
her people bunk up there. I
Bash
mean,
the door down, wave your badge a bit, and say, I'm here now.
yeah, pretty much. Promos is welcome to join her, but I can't see it happening. You usually chill on your boat, don't you?
Promos, I think Promos will go in, and this is not his part of Trinis Mira, but it is his country. He's going to walk around like he belongs, but not like he owns the joint.
Praanz thinks she owns the joint no matter where she's at.
Yeah.
You have the right accent, more or less. Ish.
It's a very different vibe, but he's just going to try and blend in as much as his fancy hat will allow.
As much as his fancy hat will allow.
Praanz just
we can-
walks straight up to the garrison and flashes that whole Supreme General badge, and people start stuttering.
Yes, they will. I mean, it's noisy in Vumbra. It's always noisy at all hours because there's always someone playing metal music somewhere, banging pots and pans together. And somewhere out in town, there's gonna be like all the houses in Vumbra are built out of stone. They're very sooty, partially because if it's not built out of stone, either case, you need to get rid of vermin from like the cracks in the walls, and people do that by burning some sylvolium in a very controlled fashion, which makes everything sooty. But there's also the foundries around in the countryside that brings the sooty smoke in from the ironworks. So it's very black. Like the soil is black, the walls are black. You step in black dust on the ground, and like the coaling quarters are even more so because that's where they handle the coal. But there's sound of music everywhere. People seem either happy or angry, and not much in between. And there will be many taverns out in town where people are either drinking or fighting. That's what you do here, basically. But Promos will recognize the music, right? It's much more lively than in other parts of Trakoria. Very nice. Yes. So this is where we find our 2 agents for the night. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go to Paratorna because our other friends are going there. And you are going to be in Hudjar. And Paratorna. There we are. You will arrive in Hudjar late at night. I think it's gonna be too late to actually land, because landing a Zeppelin like this, tricky. You can anchor it. This is mountainous area, as you will recall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know specifically where in Hodujar we were told to kind of go, outside of the fact that go to Hodujar, search for the White Flame, so maybe heading over to Jodak or something like that.
Yeah, you could do that. Jodak is not a bad idea, to be honest, since it's a settlement.
Yeah, it would make sense rather than just deciding to say, oh, we're just going to park this thing in the mountains and try and find somebody.
And hope for the best. Like, yeah. Oh, that was not the mountainside we wanted to crash on.
I got level 3 influence here.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Do you want to use it? It's another fate die, and then you can you get regain a bunch of fate die by preaching to people who don't necessarily want to be preached to, which has its own sides. Is a strongly fortified city, sitting basically overlooking the ocean, sitting on the north side of a mountain, of a bay, I should say. And they have a stone wall around. Everything is very much prepared here for invasion, very militaristic in many ways. But yeah, you will arrive and they will see the heraldic sign of the Goombas, which means that you're not enemies. And besides, enemies will not be coming in a Zeppelon. People will come to greet you where you try to sit down. Rubello, are we using a fate die here to get the full help from the locals? Level 3 help.
Sure.
You will definitely need to do some preaching.
For sure.
For sure. What kind of help do you actually want here then, is the next question. If we go back to our Game of Shadows reference, we have influence levels. There we are. No, that wasn't. There we go. Extensive military support, arresting enemies, great sums of money, unique and useful information. What kind of help do you want to get from? Because when the Inquisition arrives, I'm sure the mayor and various dignitaries receive you properly. You come with the Goomba heraldic sign. They're not very happy about being woken up in the middle of the night, I'm sure, but they're here and they're ready to serve you. Barú, holy men, you are most welcome to Judak. How can we help you this night? What brings you in
information.
Such information? Yes.
Information on the White Flame, if you have it.
The White Flame? Of course, we have heard of the White Flame. Why would such dignitaries as yourself care about the White Flame, we wonder? It's only local superstitions, really.
It's a very private matter that is essential to the survival of future and currently everybody in power in the religious orders. We need to make sure that they stay safe.
Of course.
I can help keep them safe if you provide me info of the White Flame.
Of course, Your Holiness. We will do. Can we give you night lodgings while you prepare your trip? You're going to go high up in the mountains. It's highly inaccessible up there.
Yes, it would be nice to be nice and rested by morning.
Very well. They will show you to very nice lodgings indeed. There are servants waiting on your every step and providing you with more food and drink. And you're not going to have to pay for staying at a tavern here. No way. So if you were tired before, you are not anymore when you're going to wake up the next day. Now we are in fact on the 15th of Viteska. You guys... I'm gonna go back to the Trakoria map here where we can see both of you. There. 15th of Viteska. Early morning. And we have two groups of agents who are exploring things on different parts of the islands. Yes, exactly. Split the party. And really split it. Not even be on the same island anymore. Split the party stuff.
One traveling by air, one traveling by sea.
Yep. It's almost as fast for both because it's a guy with a boat here. Just saying.
Your pincer maneuver.
Yes.
But like the opposite way.
Inverted pincer.
Yeah.
Inverted.
They'll never see it coming.
Muhahaha. All right. Let's see now. I'm just checking my notes.
Inverted pincer sounds like a new type of torture.
I was just taking notes like inverted pincer. It's something. We'll workshop it.
I can figure it out.
Pain management specialist. Does this ring anything for you? Inverted pincer. Huh?
gotta work somehow.
I got have a pitch on my desk by morning.
I have an idea what that would be. It's like one of those spreaders that gynecologists use.
Oh my.
Just the thought of that hurts.
I don't even want to know.
I forget the actual name of them, but
The
like an
mean
inverted
speculum.
Speculum, yeah. I believe they had a thing like that in the Middle Ages. It was called the Pair of Anguish.
Yep.
It's not a fun device.
Anyway, Praanz, what do you want to do? Use your day in Vumbra for?
I'm gonna go to the right bar and ask for the right drink.
Okay then. I need to have a look at things. Okay. I need to have a look at things. All right, you will go to the right bar, wherever that might be. The right tavern. Transmira. Oh, this is the wrong music, my friends. We're back in a medieval town. Nothing else. And we are going to go to Vumbra in the middle of the day. And you're going to somewhere in town. Shady stuff, shady place. It is raining, but it's also a bit of sun. Finally some rain, but it's not strange. It's the third month of the year. Surely there will be some rain before this month is over. So I guess you're going with cloaks up. Who is coming with you to the strange bar? Is it Promos? Is it someone else? What's going on here?
Provost will go.
Sorry, I will take promos, and I will take one of my specialists, but the rest of my party will be informed that if I don't respond back in a certain amount of time, that X, Y, and Z need to happen.
In other words,
If I get
destroy the
taken out,
bar?
fuck shit up.
Destroy the bar and leave none
Yeah.
alive?
Yeah. If I get taken out, you know what to do.
Scorched earth tactics.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Praanz does.
What? Scorched it? Yes. Yes, it is. Why would that be wrong? I don't know.
Listen. I am trying to become the villain, okay?
Yes, we have
I'm
understood.
gonna be a
this.
proper bad guy. I have to leave a wake of destruction in my path.
This is a fair point. So yeah, you're gonna go to some kind of tavern? What do we call this one? I need a good name for a tavern. A shady tavern.
The Shady Tavern.
It is not called the Shady Tavern. It is called the Black Flagon. Here we go. That's shady enough, isn't it?
Yeah, that's shady enough.
It's not gonna be a
Pirate
big
theme.
place. It's hard to find, but with the right connections, that of course you have because you did your research before, you will be able to find something.
What's the name of the drink she has to order?
A black beer. How about that?
So Praanz comes in with like full
Pun
psycho
on
face
black
on.
bear.
She's for once not in full uniform. Because
For once.
she'd like to not be murdered on sight. And she
Yep.
orders her black beer.
Very early in the morning. The tavern keep is wild to organize. It's a special brew that. Would you not prefer to have maybe some Safinian ale?
I know what I want.
Apparently. Kind of just cleans out one of the tankards. As I said, it's a special recipe. It'll take a little while to cook it up for you. Meanwhile, I'll give you an ale.
Sounds good.
An ale for promos as well, of course. It will, in fact, take a while because these things, someone has to run and get the contact person, and they have to get there, and so you're gonna take a good 2 hours before something happens. And you're being given a special secluded booth seat, of course.
What's the vibe like in this place? Are we clearly being watched?
You can roll either water or wind for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll wind and just rely on Promos's experiences bopping through Porttown dive bars.
Can I aid Promos with that?
Yeah, you can, absolutely. Water check, maybe? It's all the same for you, right?
Can I add a sword play? Because I'm used to looking for smaller details of body language.
Nope, you would need the assassin or thievery abilities for that.
Hey,
Nice, that's 2 more dice to Promos.
right on. Here we go.
And you need them.
Apparently, it's 1 success.
Do you have any experiences for that?
The kind of, but it's all very based in like cultural context. Promos, upon reflection of his backstory, probably knows a lot of these people who are like very intrinsically tied with a goddess of death, because he had a fairly traumatic childhood experience that has changed the way that he has lived his entire life.
So the first experience then?
But I'm not sure how applicable that would be because he doesn't worship this goddess. He rejects her.
It's about the...
Yeah,
about recognizing another murderer, perhaps, or something?
She's all about fire and passion, and Promos took his first life when he was 10 years old. He slit a man's throat who was cold, alone, and in pain.
I'll allow it. Reroll
All right.
4 dice.
I will do.
Brings you 1 step closer to leveling up, sir.
There we
Wow. Okay, I don't think that there will be anyone around here who will be able to avoid your scrutiny. Nope, you are clearly being watched. Oh yeah, you basically rang the bell.
Do we want to address the problem, or do we want to just watch the watcher?
With the difference there, can I tell if they're watching me or if they're watching Praanz?
They're watching Praanz.
Okay, they're watching Praanz.
I'm always being watched.
That ugly scar.
I bet.
That marks you.
I bet if I duck out back for a piss and get back in, they're not going to notice me.
That's still a stealth check in my book.
Can I assist by making a distraction with my torturer?
Did you bring your torturer?
I brought one of them.
Okay. Sure. Roll a water to make a social distraction.
Can I assist by giving her my ridiculously fancy hat?
Okay, you get a bonus die to your water check.
Just going to take it off his head, pop it on hers, and be like, they already see you.
I make a distraction.
Yes, you now have 2 bonus dice to your stealth check, Promos.
Praanz puts
Alright.
on the ridiculous hat and just starts making out with the other person at the table, very publicly.
This being stealth, yeah, that person is absolutely super surprised by this.
Loud smacking noises.
Yeah.
But it's Praanz. It's my boss. Yeah. Roll 3 dice for your sneak check then, because this is going to be fire for your pro.
Okay.
Yeah, they know we're undercover-ish.
That works. You have 2 successes. Nice. There are people watching, but they are distracted. You had a 6, sir, so it goes to you.
Hey!
You sneak out while everybody is watching Praanz putting on a show.
And I'm gonna position myself in a way where I can see any kind of hand signals. I'm trying to figure out who they're reporting to. They're not, if Praanz gets up and leaves the bar, these guys aren't gonna just get up and follow her. They're gonna signal to buddies outside. I want to see who they keep glancing to.
That's gonna be hard. That means that I have to make rolls. You causing problems for your GM in the best possible ways. Let me look at their stats here. Okay, who might these guys be? Are these guys? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so I'm gonna make a roll for okay. What else? I guess it's a fire check. This one has that. And then I'm gonna have to use one of my GM pool dice for this. Evil now. Actually gonna use 2 of them even. How about that? So they're trying to be sneaky about things here. Roll a win check to catch them.
And can I apply pathfinding to this, since I am basically trying to hunt a dude through an urban terrain?
No, it's not.
Okay.
This is not. Yeah, that would be against thievery, I would argue. Wow!
Hail Satan.
Yeah, you are.
That was the best roll ever.
Yeah, all the boxcars. All the boxcars. Now, yeah, okay, so you're gonna go. Oh, I see. So you are going to try and track down the person who they're gonna send to Praanz before that person is being sent to Praanz.
I'm gonna try and track down, like, if this is somebody who's watching with some kind of ill intent, I'm gonna try and track down who the boss is, right? Whoever's close by to make sure that she's eliminated. If this is the assassins, I'm gonna intercept the point of contact and make sure that I'm behind it.
You're very good at, I'm gonna have to do a thing here. You're very good at seeing them.
They're apparently too distracted to be stealthy.
Apparently, yeah.
They're like, holy shit, man, this
Amateur
general's
hour.
just making out with this random person in the middle of the bar. What the hell's going on? I thought she was some
Amateur
kind of
hour.
crazy psychopath.
That makes me angry or happy.
Not sure which.
Or caroused.
Oh, dear. You are going to sneak after them. So if you're sneaking after them, that's going to be a fire check versus... But you've done the fire check where you did the thing, right? So that was
Yeah, I'm more just like, Promos is just tucked in a corner, like watching how people are moving, right?
Yeah.
Like he's gathering information and less stalking. He'll get up and pull the rags off of his harpoon if somebody gets too frisky.
I think what you're going to notice, to your great surprise, Promos, is that nobody actually leaves the tavern. You're sure that some kind of message, it's like a ripple through how people move and how they act, has been delivered, but how it's been delivered? Was it a pigeon you didn't see? Is it a trained squirrel? A rat? Not sure. You haven't seen anyone handle any animals either. But nobody's actually leaving the tavern. You're also very confident that they haven't spotted you looking at them.
Can I figure out who seems to be nominally in charge?
Not really. They seem to be not taking or giving orders from each other. It's glances going back and forth, but it's glances of equality? Confirm.
Okay. Are there any of them who are sitting alone?
Yeah, both of them are sitting alone at different parts of the tavern. And one will go out and call of nature if it's true or not, but they do not leave your sight and they do not leave the tavern. They come back in very quickly. You will notice one interesting thing, actually, Promos.
Yeah,
as you're watching them with their body language, both of them, every once in a while, one eye goes out when the other goes out. They're actually moving their eyes independently of each other.
Okay, like a chameleon.
Yeah.
Is there anything of interest in those sight lines?
More like they're just scanning the area for potential threats. Did Praanz bring a hit squad that is hiding in the attic or hiding down the next alleyway or whatever?
Okay.
I'm wondering if the message was sent magically.
Eventually, of course, there will be a person joining, and she will sit down right across from Praanz.
Excellent. Good morning, afternoon. Is it afternoon yet?
It's getting lunch, yes.
Afternoon.
I don't mind if I share a meal with you.
No, not at all.
But, I hear the black bear is excellent here.
Excellent. We'll
You
have some
are
of that
actually
then.
giving the brew by this time.
We'll have some of that then.
Indeed. Let's have some of that. What can I do for you?
I think you might have some receipts that I'd like to buy off of you.
Receipts.
A job was done. And the person on the other end of the job was a friend of mine. And I'd like to know who the client was.
I can only say that I can offer my condolences, but we don't speak of such things, as you might well understand. We have a strict policy of confidentiality regarding any such transactions. I believe that you appreciate the confidentiality we've had regarding your contracts in the past.
They were Goba's contracts.
I'm not sure the common man will make much of a difference.
You underestimate the value of this friend of mine.
Don't go and do anything foolish.
Kind of what I do.
So you do not have a contract for us then?
I could have a contract. I have some pictures.
Oh. That throws things in a different light, doesn't it?
He pulls out the wanted posters.
Yep.
These.
These. Alright. Fees as
The
always.
one with the hammer, I'd like alive and de-weaponed, if you can.
We don't work that way, sweetie.
Then make it slow for me if you can.
That we can do. Or we can simply get the others and let you catch the one with a hammer yourself.
That didn't go well for me last time.
Very well then. All of them it is. It will surely be expensive.
Yeah.
I guess this is where the Ariano's support comes.
That would be it.
Basically, Ariano has just bought the Rabdarana, a contract with the Rabdarana to kill the adventurers. Is that what we're saying here?
Yes.
I do have a glut of fate dice if you want Allesella to fund it.
Either or.
Yeah,
Yeah, but-
Promos would even be willing to like write a badly worded letter that's like, need money, kill a guy.
But the thing is, you are not in Allesella territory. If we go back to the Shadow board, you are in Kark right now, and
This is for like future debt repayments.
you'll have to go down to Tresilva or Newmark and get money.
I feel like this will be one of those things where we get the down payment from one shadow player and then the rest of the payment from another
With
player.
that fate die, you can straight up pay the contract, and it's gonna be done, right? It's
Okay.
gonna be fine. I would say that will count as this session's help from Ariano. Basically, Ariano is paying for it. Very well.
Because Praanz can't seem to find them on her own. They're just slippery motherfuckers.
Where did you see them last?
Mount Rands.
Mount Rance?
That's the last I heard of them.
That's interesting.
I don't have any further information on them unless... We don't have any more information on them, do we?
Not for a while, no. I'm actually gonna roll 2d6.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
One
did my
success.
people find anything?
No. This is for either Promos or Praanz. Both of you have Water 2. None of you have Machinator. Roll a water roll with a +1. Praanz or Promos can roll 3 dice. Because the other one is also watching. Not a single success. That's fine.
What am I rolling for?
Reading her body language and...
Can I roll it as well?
reactions. Nope.
Bullshit
One of them.
chest.
Yes, it's a bullshit test. Is there anything you have... You tricked the pharmacist?
Trick the pharmacist.
Okay. Let's re-roll with a trick the pharmacist. Really?
Wow.
No better.
The gods, the dice gods, and the gods have decided that the Praanz and Promos do not notice the little flinch in her eye when you say that. Which is fine for her. Very well then, consider it done. We will spread it through our networks, and wherever they are on the islands and beyond, we will catch them. And we will kill them.
How
They
do you
will-
deliver proof of death?
Well,
I'm not stupid. I will require proof of death.
of course. We typically simply leave our sign next to the body. But I can see how it could become a problem in the wilderness. You will get a distinguishing feature for each one of them. How about that?
I'm fine with that.
Very well then. Pleasure doing business with you.
You too.
And she will leave. And so will the other two. And strangely enough, they all leave in 3 different directions. You didn't expect that, or maybe you
No,
did.
I did. I've got the look of them, and they're. If they left in 3 different directions, their base is in the 4th.
Exactly.
I didn't get the information that I wanted, but
You got to hire them to do a hit of the adventures, which is always
Yeah.
fun.
I got them to go after the people that I think are responsible.
Yep.
And Promo's got good looks at all of their faces, and if he needs to track anybody down, he's decent at it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have... we have our friends Erald and Rubello, and let's back the tape up a bit. It's morning, the 15th of Vateska in Dock. And you're going to go up to Hodjar, the mountains. Neither of you are very good at navigating the wilderness, are you?
No.
Nope.
You could use that fate die you spent, Rubello, to get yourselves the help of a local guide who knows the mountains inside and out. How about that?
Before we do, is there any schools or churches here?
Oh, absolutely. Udoc has a temple for Anxalis, of course, and other temples devoted to other gods, common like Enki, and so on.
Are there children running about?
Are there what?
Children.
Of course there are. It's a city.
Alright. Not to be a creepy priest and go to approach children, but I'd like to preach the Shamash truths to the children.
Shamashi truths to the children, of course. They need to learn about the way of truth. Why don't you roll a water check? Ooh, by the way, when you leveled up, you had a chance to rearrange your bloods, but I think you're happy with your attributes as they are, aren't you?
Yeah.
One version could be to have 3 water and 1 stone, but that's also risky.
Yeah, I don't want to run 3-3-1-1.
Okay.
Just think 1-3-2-2 is better.
So roll a water check to speak to the children about Shamashi's truths. And see if you can spread the good word to the world. They laugh a little bit, throw some rotten langoks at you, and run away.
I would like to use my experience to re-roll that. I've got experience with trying to teach children.
During a prayer, a child came up. Okay, then. They do not run away. They sit and listen. Since you didn't have a 6 on this, they are not necessarily going to be convinced. And by the time you walk away, you're going to be slightly exhausted. But at least you have preached. And that, my friend, gives you at least 1 fate die. Since you actually spent an experience, I'll give you 2. Because I'm nice that way. You are up to 3 fate dice now, and that also took a little while in the morning here. So it's gonna be mid-morning before you leave Judak, isn't it, Erald?
Yep.
Were we accepting a local guide?
Absolutely.
Yep, I think that's the case.
Otherwise, you'll have to roll navigation in mountains where you have no idea about anything, and that's going to be like a difficult.
Just get lost, it'll be great.
Yes. You're going to be lost and die of hunger and all that fun stuff. So, no, you are going to go through the mountains, and that is going to be... Oh, completely wrong scale.
Yeah, 3 feet, that works.
No. It's more like... I don't know.
We are colossal titans, leaping
Yes.
mountains in a single bound.
3 of your
Sounds about right.
You know. It was... No. That's also the wrong scale. It's probably more that, I think. Yeah, that makes more sense. You're gonna go up in the mountains. It's gonna take you a full day to get there, definitely. There's not many paths up there. You'll have to walk. The locals... There are few villages up here, and... It's a long and... I guess beautiful walk in its own way. You're experiencing mountains again, Erald. Haven't you done that before? It's cloudy and raining. So I don't know how much of a beautiful day it is. Maybe more of a miserable day. But you have a local guide, and they are helping you to find the person you're looking for. Isn't that nice?
Yep.
By the time evening comes, you're high up in the Hesifa Massive in Hojar, and you are going to approach, apparently, what is said to be the Shrine of the White Flame. There's a small village close by. And to look at my notes. Where did it go? There we go. This is a temple. Rubello, it's gonna make you happy. The temple is dedicated to the Seraphs, a type of wind spirit.
Oh, great.
Yes, it's quite windy up here too. That helps. And apparently the locals will, of course, when they see you come, they're your holy men. They will give you food. They will give you lodging, such as it is, which is basically in the stable of one of the local goat herders. And they will tell you that only one person, I would say like this, the elder of the village will come and ask what your errand here might be.
I'll thank them for their hospitality. I'll then wait for the elder.
Yes, the elder, she's called Migna. Migna Dayup, because that's what this particular village is called. She's very old, wrinkly. You can see her face has been blasted by wind for decades. Keeps her long gray-white hair in a braid to collect it from the wind again. Wears a sturdy poncho that protects well from the wind. And with just tied a belt around her waistline as well. Sacred ones, what brings you out here to our little abode? We never get visitors here. Looks at your white robe, Erald. From... Who are you?
Apologize. My name is Barú Erald.
Barú.
Yes, both of us, we are here to pay respects to the White Flame and
The
find
White
out more.
Flame?
There
I
is.
see.
We come from the other islands, and we're afraid that the White Flame might come to harm. We've lost some of our respective seers or visioners in other areas, and want to make sure that the White Flame has not been hurt or harmed in any way.
The White Flame harmed? The White Flame, you need not worry yourself. Oh ye of weak mind and body. Again, we're on Paratorna. Insults come naturally here. Only the weak-minded could think such a thing. But then, I suspect you're not from Paratorna, are you, Barú?
No.
Respect, elder. He is speaking of forces that we have not seen in these lands for quite some time. The White Flame very well may be in danger.
Respect?
Our seers.
Respect? Who are you, sir?
I am Barú, Rubello de Sampra. I am the trusted associate of Mr. Ariano de Spinalunga.
You don't sound at all like you would be from around here, do you?
No, I am from another continent, another island.
Foreigners trying to help us do what we can do best. Yes, that's what foreigners are good for. poking their noses in other people's business and just being generally intrusive. We have no need for weak-minded foreigners who don't understand our ways up here. Thank you very much. We will, of course, provide you with some lodging if you have the nice golden trakees to support that. But other than that, there is little we can say. The white flame, hallowed be its name, is, as always, burning and shall never be blown out by any flap-jawed, far-sail compoop. And besides, the only one who gets to speak to the white flame is, of course, Theophrastus Diop, who is quite beside himself and the only one who can.
And I apologize, Elder. The reason we are here is due to a conflux.
A what now?
This conflux, Elder. It's
We
a
don't have one of
raise
those.
in change in magic across all of the islands, including impacting the White Flame. If we could speak to Teofrasto, we might be able to explain it better than to yourself. At this point, Erald is also looking around the rest of the village to see if there's anybody else that may be as old as this person, that might be secluded away but still curious as to who the visitors are, and also trying to take count of how many people's actually in the village.
The village consists of about maybe 30 people altogether. It's a small place. Very inaccessible indeed. And the average age here is, you have I think it's the normal distribution for a mountain village. Out of the 30, you'll have maybe 3 or 4 being elders, and then a good 15 adults of various age, and then the rest children.
Erald will also go ahead and look at the elder and basically state, I apologize, and I know that you're pretty much in the middle of your protected hills here, but we don't want anything to come to harm for the White Flame.
He apologizes. She speaks very loudly so everyone else can hear, and everybody starts laughing.
All right.
Weak-minded foreigners.
I've had enough of this, Erald says, and looks at the nearest fire and forces it to his bidding.
Ooh! So...
Basically, Erald's attempting to show magic to force whoever's actually the seer or magic user here out. I know it's very against quote-unquote creationist ethics, but I'm pulling the card.
Let's see now. I don't know if it's...
Merel's tired
speaking...
of the nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah.
He got tired of them. Oh. As long as you don't violate the inherent essence of fire, it's pro-creationist. So I don't think it's... there are fires everywhere. You can just tell the flames to wink that way, or they have a fire for sit around. It's dark. Torches...
Fire's rage, after all, and Barú's pissed.
Erald at this point is visibly annoyed at the fact that the elder is taking no respect for us, quite literally, because we're not from the island. We're foreigners, basically messing with their local stuff, but they don't understand it's just a bigger concern than the 30 that's there. Yep. Erald is even to the point, quite literally, that if this does not work, I am looking at Guello at this point.
Okay, spend a fate die, of course. You're down to 4. And roll your fire... Oh, are we spending 1 or 2 fate dice?
I will actually spend 2.
Oh my god.
Yep. The whole point of this is, as Erald is speaking, basically the flames visibly rush up as if almost like they're bellowing his voice through them.
Ah, you're basically heating their emotions in some way.
My emotions and my rage is channeling their fires.
You're using magical tradition in a rhetorical conflict to create doubt or fear.
100%, yes.
Go ahead and roll 5 dice.
Cool.
That was 2 successes, which is not very impressive, to be honest. Do we want to spend an experience on this?
Yes, I'm going to spend an experience that the stubbornness of this lady is the same as fighting many younglings during his years.
That's great.
Yep.
So re-roll 3 dice.
She's being a childish bitch.
She really is. So, yeah.
4 successes. That's going to be definitely enough. You're going to cause 1 point of doubt in these people. Doubt or fear. Since you didn't have any more 6s, you don't cause more than that. But it allows you to roll a water check with a +1 to your thing here. And if Rubello wants to try and help convincing people, you can roll a water check to help Erald by putting good words down.
Sure, I'll do that. I can back up what he's saying.
Yep. So roll 2 dice. That's a bonus die to Erald. You get to roll now 2, 3, 4 dice on your water check to impress these people. That worked. They are a bit stubborn, of course, but you have the advantage here, so that is going to be another 2 points of doubt on them, and that is enough to break them. They will be like the fires are sweeping back and forth. They see how the gods are speaking through you, Erald, and their eyes just lit up. Oh, of course, Barú, most holy man. Whenever you want to, let's get you to Master Theophrastus immediately. Come. And they bring you to Theophrastus, who turns out to be an old man as well. Absolutely butt naked with a really long beard and a really long hair that functions as his clothes and cover up all the tender parts because that's how long they are. And he's sitting there in a bit of a, almost looks like a well or a bowl, stone bowl. I don't know. It's between the houses and in front of the shrine. And he's sitting there and looking up at you.
Theophrasto, is that you?
One has blue eyes, the other has brown eyes, and together they have 4 eyes. That's exciting. I think the white flame told me you'd be coming. I want to speak to the flame, don't you?
Respectively, yes.
I can't. Only I speak to the flame.
Can we speak to you and you speak to the flame?
Yes, that's how it's worked. He's smart, this one. He catches on quickly.
What does the flame know of the coming conflux?
Are you a rat?
No, sir. I walk on 2 legs.
I think rats can walk on 2 legs.
If they're really creative. No, I'm not a rat.
Huh. You look like a rat. You'd need some whiskers, though. Could someone give him some whiskers?
I'll go up to the old man and pull a few whiskers out of his beard.
Ow!
I'll hold them up to Barú's face, Barú Erald's face. We're like, is this satisfactory?
Yes, look at him now. Yes, the rat under the moon. Yes, rolling the moon when it is made of cheese. We don't have one of those here.
Moon, cheese, or conflux?
Confluxes. Confluxes are confusing to and confabulating in the most confounding ways.
Tell me something that only the White Flame would know about my history. You've just met me, but the White Flame should know me for years.
Why, though?
Because, sir, I think that you're not a seer at all, and that you can't talk to the white flame, and you're just a crazy old man sitting in this crazy stone bowl.
Oh, I'm definitely crazy. But the white flame told me that you can talk to flames too.
Okay, you're not as crazy as you seem.
Which is neat. I think it's neat anyway.
I think it's wonderful. So since you can talk to the white flame, other seers and other people that can talk to things that can see into the future, including crazy people, are being killed.
That's not good. The flame here, it speaks about the mountains when the mountains are in a bad mood, and it speaks about the weather and the wind and things like that.
Have you tried letting other people speak to the white flame?
Yes, everyone comes to the white flame around here.
Does it say the same thing to everyone?
They ask about where their goats ran away.
This one's crazy, Rubello.
What kind of things do you think a goat herder will ask about?
I can't say. I'm not a goat herder.
I noticed.
So the white flame knows nothing of the conflicts coming into the realm.
Nope.
Does the white flame feel any new magic or power feeling sweeping over the lands?
Let me ask. This will take a little while. Why don't you... We meet in the morning. Climbs out of the bowl and goes into the actual shrine, which is a very small stone building built out of basically round stones piled up into... looks like a beehive almost, conical fashion. And it has drape as a door. And inside the drape, there's a wooden door, and he goes and slams the door behind him.
There's only the one door into the building?
Yep.
Any windows?
Nope.
Okay.
There's some smoke coming up from the top,
Okay.
like a smoke chimney hole.
I look at Guello and say, you take first watch, I'm taking second. And ask him to stand at the door.
Interesting adventures in Hodjar for these guys. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go back to our friends in Vumbra and ask where you might be going next.
I don't know. I'm fairly certain that they killed Sin. Or
Yep.
Sin's character, Lady Terlisi.
Yeah.
But I can't take the whole network down. It would take too many resources, and they just did it for the money.
Yeah, and we did just hire them to do a job, and it would be stupid to piss off a group before they kill the people that we want them to kill.
And I'm pretty sure the people I just sent them after are the people who put the contract hit on her anyway. I'm like 95% sure. So, because the night I died, Terlisi was with us.
Yep. What do we do now? Are we going back to Falkvalvi? Are we going somewhere else?
Do we table personal vengeance until after the job is done and come back later?
Yeah, I think that's the best bet.
Because I got a good look at their faces, and look, they didn't know her. They didn't know who she was. They didn't care who she was. And so I don't care which one of them we kill.
No, it was
But we
a
do
job.
it after they're done.
Yeah, we wait till they've taken out my problem, and then, like I said, I'm fairly certain the people I just sent them after, or at least their bosses, are the ones who sent the hit. maybe if I take out them, it'll piss their bosses off enough to come out of the shadows.
Where do you want to be when it all goes down?
Preferably on my mountain.
Spend a night here and leave in the morning?
Look, I would like to be in my favorite place.
All right, so you spend a night here and gonna leave in the morning. And
Yep.
it will be the 16th of Fateska, and we will end this session with someone coming in on you for your breakfast, basically. Disturbing your breakfast, Praanz. Really annoying. But you have yourself an agent here, don't you?
Sure.
A minion. And this is... Where's that? That one, yes, okay. You need to get to the right map and everything, and the right... This person here will, in fact, seek you out in your private quarters. This is one of your agents here. I heard you were in town, General. And so I thought this might be interesting for you. There was a murder the other night. Now, that in itself is not strange for Wumbra. It happens all the time. People flash their knives, they punch each other out, and so on. But this particular body was a bit interesting. There was a hole in the head, and the brain was gone.
Did it look like they were specifically looking for the brain, or it leaking out was just a byproduct of the hole in the head?
I'm not sure.
How large of a hole are we talking?
Not a very large one at all. I am not a medicus. I do not know how to do an autopsy on the body, but I've been listening in to the right people, and I thought you might find that particular piece of information interesting.
Do you know where the body is?
Of course. It's with
Leave
the
that
medical...
information with me.
Absolutely. And now we will pause tonight's action with a bit of a cliffhanger there. We have a dead body! Another dead body, but a very different dead body, because Terlisi did not miss the brain, and the Piatra Petralba did not miss a brain. This is something new.
This is something I'll be taking my alchemist to look at.
I think so. And in the morning, maybe, and Rubello will get some answers from the Oracle regarding your question. Thank you for playing.
Guide doing?
What was that?
The guide we got to take us up here? What is he doing in the meantime?
He's just hanging out with the locals, having beer and sleeping. It's just, I'm here on a job, I'm a guide, I'm gonna get out of here.
He's petting goats.
Yes.
Sherpa's gonna sherp.
Sherpa's gonna sherp. See you guys in 2 weeks for more shenanigans in this world.
All right. Good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Everybody.